Okay, good evening. Hope you're all well, right? So join me in this short, quick exercise, right? Today I was out doing some shopping and I saw a special where you had to get three items and you get the cheapest one for free, right? It was either a drink, sweets, or a snack like chips, right? So I started thinking about what are the combinatorics or the permutations required, right, to get the best deal, or which item, or which combination would be the best, right, to go for. So yeah, and also just to think about like what is the rationale, the reasoning when they come up with these strategies, and like what are their profit margins, how did they select which item, to enter the the bucket, right? So what I've done here on I don't really need to change the screen. You can just look at it on the right. So what I've done here on Google spreadsheets or Google Sheets, right? So I just created some dummy items, right? So four items, max five items per category. Per category, right? Oh, geez. Per grouping is better. Let me go with per grouping, right? So we have the item number, we have the name, the price, and the grouping or category, right? So we have four items in the drink, five in sweets and five in chips, right? So these are all fictitious items. I tried to look for the special online at the store, but I couldn't find it. And I guess it was good because then I didn't have to use their name. But yeah, so this is now in Python. I thought let's create this and see how we can get the cheapest item of the combination or cheapest combination, and how can we calculate the number of combinations possible using Python, right? So far, I'm going with the object oriented approach. You don't really have to do this. I just, I guess it's practice for other things that I do. Yeah. So I've created the category, right? And it's going to store the name, for example, chips, and the items that are in the category, right? And we have some methods here to add an item to a category, right? That's the only items we have. We also have this dunder method or the special method or magic method, whichever one you want to call it, to actually represent this. So let me just put that there. I think it looks better that way. Yeah. And then we have an item. An item takes you have an item name, your price, and your grouping or category. And just like before, you have the um, representation of the object. Okay, cool. And combination, right? We'll get into that. And then we have the combination which has the name and the items, right? And also we have to add an item. But in this method, we have to check that we only can have three items in this method, right? There could also be another method where we say that the items, we can have more than one of the same item from a category. I think that's a long way around of saying that, every single category must be unique in this combination. Okay. So this is a script so far that I just thought, you know what, I'm gonna just record this rather than, yeah. So create a list of categories, create the categories, and then we have this utility function that just reads in this data right into a DF, into a data frame. I could have written it here, but just for cleanliness sake. And then we have this loop that goes through the data frame. I get the unique items in this column, and then I create a category. And then from there, I filter out for that category in that data frame, and then I iterate through it, get all the items, add them to the category, and add them to this list of categories, right? And then we can see the output there. Okay. So as you can see, so we have our items there. Um, we have a warning, but we'll ignore it for now. So we have an item. This that. Did I print items out or something? Okay, cool. Never mind. We Interesting. Okay, it's telling me that I shouldn't be using it this way, right? I should use this method rather than indexing it like that. Sweet. I will do that next time. Um, I could do it now, but never mind. So so here's our category. We have our items, right? That are there. And then we have our sweets, and this are our chips, right? So this pricing has been randomly generated, right? Using the rand between just thumbs up some numbers that I thought, like, for a 500 ml Coke, maybe I shouldn't say Coke, but 500 ml drink. Yeah, if you have this item, yeah, it should be between like 7 rand to 15 to 16 for that price range, right? Okay, don't want to mention too many brands or anything like that. Cool. So, yeah, okay, so now some little combinatorics, right? I have, let me use we have three groupings, right? And in each has n items, right? We can only select one from each, right? So number of combination will be from group one. We can only select, we could calculate it and be fancy, but there really isn't no need for me to write a line of code to calculate that when I could just tell you right now, right? For because I was just thinking maybe it might be good to actually calculate it, because so that we know that, okay, actually we'll calculate it top of the head. All right, I have four items in drinks. I have five items in sweets, and I have another five items, right? So that means I should have, that is 4 times 5 is 25. 25 times 5 is 125 combinations. Combinations, right from there. Okay. So how would we calculate this in this? All right. So combinations. I have a list of combinations, right? So I can say, oof, can I do it in one line? Okay, it's a list. Can't really, can I? Number of combinations. I can say for combination for category and list of. Okay, I should just use the right. It's gonna give me the categories, and I want to get the number of items. I want to get um, category dot items, right? And then I could calculate the length of the. I could calculate the length of the items. It's actually telling me how many there are, right? Combinations is equals to that, right? This is one, okay? And then I could say combinations. Let's see, does this make sense? Cool, I can do that. So I can also do this then, right? So essentially, I start from one times, right? I should get, and then I can calculate, and I can get what combination is, and I can print combinations. I should be getting 125, and I'll just comment this out, and then run this again. Okay, so it's running. Indentation error, done. Line one, wait, jeez, bro. Okay, let me save that again. Okay, that's fine. For combination, print that. Should be fine. Indentation block 4. Maybe I ran you while you were still. Okay, not pick that up yet. That should be fine. Run you again, unless this is a problem. 100. Yeah, so that's a problem, right? Why is it 100? This is 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe my math is bad. Five. Jeez, bro, your math is bad. 125. This is 100. Right. So 5 times 5 is 25 times 4. Yeah. Cool. So we have the same. This is what we got. Now, how do we create these combinations? How do we create these combinations? Right. So what I've been thinking about is going to be like some for loop within a for loop within a for loop, right? For each category. Right. So we have a combination. Okay. Cool. So if I say um, for A and B, for B and C, you know, will I get my combinations from here? Is this the most well thought out? Do I even have to do it like that? Let's see. So for category in list of categories, will I end up with like a double counting situation? Because I'm going to go to 0, 1, 2. Let's see. Let's see. So I know from the top that drink is the first one, sweets. Right. So drink is equals to list of categories 0. Why you? I don't have that list. Right. Drinks and sweets is that. And so we have that. Then we have chips is equals to list of 3. Okay. Okay. So we are back. And as you can see, it's been like an hour. I'm sure you see from the video that there was a long cut in the editing. Lessons learned is that whenever you're recording a video on these devices, make sure that you have enough space. Otherwise, you know, yeah. So, all right, let me record this again, and I'll go through this a lot faster than the last time. All right. So when this had cut, we I was like thinking about how to create the combinations, right? So we just went through this way of like, splitting out, getting out all the categories in the list of categories: drinks, sweets, chips. Then created a count, right? And then created a list of combinations again. And then we did a for loop within a for loop within a for loop, right? I'm sure there's probably like a more efficient way to do this, but for the sake of this video, so what we do is we increment the count because I wanted to start at 1 and not at 0. To be fair, I could have just said count is equals to 1, but yeah. Combination is equals to combination count, print the combination, um, get the combination name, create a combination, add a drink, add a sweet, and a chip, list of combinations, right? Then we calculate the length of the combinations to see how many items were in there, how many items are in the list of combinations, and we show that out as this is running. And then we got that, right? And then what happened was we wanted to sort the list of combinations right? From lowest to highest, right? So remember, we've done that before in one of the other videos where we use the select sort, right, algorithm. Okay, so it show you that up there. So it arranges or sorts the numbers based from highest to lowest, right? You can see that's the output. Now, what we've done here is, so I refactored that code and created another utility function, right? That is going to sort these combinations using the same algorithm. Nothing different. But now, when I run that, we have an error, right? The error is that by the time we get here, we have not calculated the combination. Okay, so now that's why I get that error here. Um, I guess to fix this, what we could do is calculate it for everyone, right? You just say calculate the combination. And that's not how you spell calculate. Calculate the cost of combination, and I'm going to say combination costs. Actually, to be fair, I really don't want to save the value. I just wanted to run it. Okay. So, however, when I get share, it's going to throw an error. All right. Let's just see if it'll still throw the same error. Why I'm doing this is when I run this method, it's going to assign it to here. Right. That's my thinking. That's how I. No, it's not. It should. It should. If it doesn't, we'll come up with a more intelligent way of. And it doesn't. Oh, that's why it doesn't, because I didn't calculate it. Right. So I could just do this, right, for all. I'm not saving you. I just want you to be initialized. And it's running. Bam. Right. As I thought that would also happen. Okay. So before we get there, um, we can also calculate you. Easy enough. Boom. Where is it now? We could also calculate you as well down and then put you there. I don't think I need. And yeah, then we run this. Okay, so it's running. Bam. All right, so that's the list of combinations, right? And remember, this is going to sort it from lowest to highest, right? So the first item will be the cheapest one, right? And that is combination 12, right? And how much does it cost? So it has item drink, item sweet, and item chips. but it doesn't tell us. It doesn't tell us the cost because it's not part of its representation method. Oh, geez. All right. Um, guess I will have to create you self dot cost. Cost. No, 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 no. Actually, cost combination. Is it combination cost or cost combination? Cost combination. All right, and that's might throw an error because it's not in this initializer method. So I will just put you as equals to zero. All right, equals to zero there. So I don't really need to do you here. And let's run you again. So now we know that combination 12 is the cheapest, right? It's not really that, but then like, yeah, it's just an interesting thing to see on. Great. So the what? That doesn't make any sense. Wait a second. All right. Combination 100, price is 11, 14, and 22 should give you 47. Right? 11, 25, 57. Right? And then from there, 112, 10, 22, 24. 235. All right. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. Okay, you know what? I think I know where something's wrong. Something's wrong in here. This should not be done here, right? It should not be done in here. Okay. That should not be done there. And I did it in two places. I calculated it in two places. What's the first one? What's the second one? And there, right? That should not be done there either. Right. So it should be done. Okay. So yeah, calculate the cost of the combination, right? Because when I'm doing a thing, it's always calculating it, right? So it's going to be combination calculate cost of combination, all right? And then I wonder if I can clear this, clear output. Great. Um, Sweet. Now we can run it. Okay. Now it's running. Sweet. That makes more sense, right? Those values make more sense. And then 12, yeah. So 12 is our cheapest item, and it costs 35 rand. And you get a chips for 10 rand, essentially choosing the cheapest item for each, right? The most expensive would be the one that probably have the most expensive items for each, right? So cool. So that's just a little exercise of just playing around with Python. You could build on this to see the profit margin so that you would get for each combination, right? Depending, which is a factor or function of the item profit margins, you know. So how much money would they lose if everybody bought this cheap item, right? So essentially, how much would they lose? the cheapest would just be the drink, right? That you would get for free. It would just be the drink. Yeah. Anyway, thank you for watching. Hit me up if you want more videos like this. Cheers.